Hello my beautiful bellitas and welcome back to another banging video. So today I filmed a video. I just sat back and did my makeup and finally got to the video I've been meaning to get to, which is telling you guys about all the jobs I ever had, how long I stood, and the reason why I left these places. I really enjoyed this video. I don't know if it's going to be a long video. It might just be, but it's a good one. It's really a good one. So if you guys would like to know the tea, then just keep watching. Alright, so we're gonna go right ahead and jump into today's video. I do want to show you guys something that I learned on TikTok yesterday, and I tried it last night and I'm gonna do it again today. So while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna get into it. And if you guys want to see like what it is, because this isn't like a tutorial type of video, this is just me like talking and telling you all the jobs I ever worked at since I first ever started working. If you guys want to see this like process of like how I do this stuff with my brows, I'll definitely make a video or even make a TikTok doing it. Just let me know down below. The first job that I really ever worked at, I was a babysitter. Like my first thing was like babysitting, but that was like only for a little bit, because then not too long after I got like my actual first job, and then once I got like my first job, I didn't really have time to babysit like that or all that other stuff. And I was in school. I was 14 when I got like my first employed job, like getting a check and all that stuff. I remember the way I got this job, I was pretty new to my high school at the time. I had moved to states, so I was brand new. I had like no friends. And I remember I was in history class and there was this one girl, and me and her, I don't know how we started talking, but we just clicked. Like we just started being friends. And that class was also my lunch class, which was cool because me and her would have lunch together. We would talk about like, what are you doing today? Like, what are your plans and all that stuff, whatever. So like it just came up in conversation that she had a job, and I was like, oh snap, like where you work at and all that stuff. What age do they hire? Like I was asking all these questions because I wanted a job. I really like how it looks. My brows look like messy and cute. She was telling me about the job and like what it was like and how it was and the people who worked there, and it wasn't like a hard job. It was pretty cool, like cashier work and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm about this. I got the interview and everything, and I ended up getting the job. So what the place is, it's like those places, like they make their own type of food basically, like their own honey, peanut butter, all that stuff. Like it's a farm. And they also have stuff like for Halloween, they have like haunted houses, like those little festivals, and they have like blueberry picking, apple picking, and like stuff like that. So it was like it was cool. Like the job was cool, I'm not even gonna lie. It was my first job. I liked it. I worked in the garden center, so I was like ringing people up out in the greenhouse. It sucked in the summertime because it would be so hot in there. Oh my goodness, like it would get up to 100 degrees and we would have to close the inside. I have had some stories with some annoying customers before, but that's like every job. My little 14-year-old self was there working, and the reason why I wanted a job so young is because I had just fallen in love with makeup, and my mom was like, no, if you about to start buying makeup and all this stuff, you need a job. So I was like, say no more, girl, I'm gonna get a job. And then I remember I had a favorite teacher at the time, and like I put her down as a reference, and it was so much fun getting prepped for the job and getting my working papers. And I still have my working papers. I still have my first paycheck, like pay stub from that job. It would get really busy at that place around like winter time, because they also did a light show for Christmas and around like from actually Halloween, like around apple picking time. From then on it gets so busy, and it would be so crazy working there, and I would be there so late. Oh my goodness. And I would be there after school. Like it was a lot, honestly, juggling a job and school and being literally 14. Like I was so young. Like it was a lot. And I would be so tired, but you know, I had to get that coin. I had to work, you know. So I was there up until I was a little bit after my 16th birthday. Should I tell you guys the reason why I left each job? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. So the reason why I left this job is because, first of all, I did not want to go through another winter season. So winter and summer at that job, and my birthday is May 31st. So we were just getting into like our summer stuff, and I was not trying to be there. Like, it was always so hot in there, and then it was just gonna get busy. Like, I did not want to do that. And then also, like, some personal stuff had happened. My papa, he had first had his heart attack and everything, and then I just remember, like, I took a little time off from work, and then, like, around my first time coming back, everybody knew. Like, I guess my boss told everybody, and I just did not take that. Like, I didn't appreciate that because that's my personal business, and I get it. Like, I told you because you're my boss, like, you're my employer, but I just didn't appreciate that she told literally everybody that worked there, people, like, and they're talking to me, and I'm like, this violates HIPAA, bro. This goes against HIPAA. And I just didn't like it. Like, that's my personal business. You didn't need to tell everybody that I worked with. So that was just, like, the cherry on top for me. I don't know if I put in my 2 weeks. Like, I really don't remember. I don't know if I just quit or if I just stopped showing up, because I'm very notorious of just leaving. I don't know if that was one of the jobs I had the respect to put in my 2 weeks for or not. Like, I don't know if that was it. So after that job, I had a friend who worked at Chick-Fil-A, and he had been there for a while. Him and another one of my friends, like, our group, it was like me, him, and another guy. Like, I was never really friends with girls like that. I always had, like, bros and shit. We were all, like, friends since, like, freshman year, and it was around, like, when did I start working at Chick-Fil-A? Actually, was it that long? Did I go through that whole summer without a job? Oh yeah, no, actually, I did go through that whole summer without a job because my stepdad had his heart attack and I had to be with my brother. Like, I went that summer without a job completely. So I started working at Chick-fil-A 2016, but it was like the winter time. Like, it had just passed like Christmas. So I was like, cool, you know what? I'm gonna work there too. So I put in the application, interview. Of course, I got the job because he was my reference. Like, 2 people who had worked there. I think, actually, he was the only one who got there. And then another guy from our friend group joined. So it was, like, us 3 working there. And then, like, he had quit. And then, yeah, we just all left. And I worked there for, I think, a year as well. That job was something else. Like, I really hated that job. I hated that job so much. And if you work at Chick-fil-A, congratulations, kudos to you, because that job, that wasn't it. Like, I hated management as well when I worked there. They were so rude. They talked to me so crazy, and back then, my little self, like, I was so nervous and I was so shy, and I just let people talk to me crazy. Yeah, they talked to me crazy the majority of the time. They were really rude, very intimidating, a lot of management. And then one thing that I really despise working there is being outside in the drive-thru taking the orders. It sucks. Like, it really sucks, especially, and now at my nearest Chick-fil-A, they have, like, they built something so you can stand under, and they have fans in there. So I don't know how it is now, but when I worked there was nothing. Like, you were standing in the sun type stuff. Like, it was hot, it was beaming, and the heat from the cars was hitting me, and it was hot outside, like I said, and they don't change them. They will tell you that they change employees. They did not change employees. Like, it got so bad one time. This girl I was working with, she literally almost passed out because they didn't change us, and they would forget to give us water breaks. Like, it was so bad, and it's always so busy there, so you don't have time to, like, you know, like, it's always busy at Chick-fil-A. I remember, like, when the solar eclipse happened, I was at work outside, and I watched it. Like, I watched it. I was in the drive-thru taking orders outside, and I watched the eclipse happen, and my dumb ass, I looked at it. Those were some of the bad things about working there. Drive-thru drinks, they have a separate person working for drive-thru drinks. Like, that is one person's job. And when you get 4 milkshakes in a row, oh my goodness. Like, I've had milkshakes explode all over me. If I hadn't worked there, that's not something I would have ever thought about. Oh my goodness. And there would be somebody who worked there at that Chick-fil-A, and he would flirt with literally everybody. He made everybody feel so at least he made me feel uncomfortable sometimes. Like, it was always a lot. But the free food, that was lit until my acid reflux was like, no, you can't be eating this stuff. And then I went to the hospital, and it was just this whole big thing. Chick-fil-A was cool to work at some points. Like, I had made a best friend at work, and, like, me and her were so cool, and we would hang out. Actually. I have some funny stories with this girl. Oh my goodness, I have to tell you guys this one story. We were like dynamic duos. We worked all the time together. It was always me and her. Everybody knew if you saw me, you saw her. If you saw her, you saw me. Like, we was cool as hell. Like, the owners, I'm not gonna lie, they were very nice people. They would host like Christmas parties at their house, and I heard that they had a beautiful house. Like, I never went myself, but I heard that they had a beautiful house. And a lot of the people that worked there, oh my goodness, we were all so young. They all went to school with each other. Like, I was probably the only one of the only people who went to, like, a different school than them. They were all cool with each other, honestly. We were, like, the young kids, like, we were cool with each other. And I remember the one summer I had to only work mornings, and that was crazy. The morning times, oh my goodness. There was an amusement park nearby, so it would just get so crazy in the mornings. Oh my goodness. And they would open up at 6 in the morning, guys. Being at Chick-Fil-A at 6 in the morning sucked. The morning shift was so much better than the afternoon shift, honestly, because the people are older who worked there, so it was like not a lot of cattiness. The only crazy part was just like getting the rush out from people who were going to the amusement park. Like I said, I worked there for about a year, and the reason that I left that place, it was actually 2 reasons. So I remember I rarely took off of work at that time because I had nothing to do. Like, I had no car. I was a child. I was like 16, you know? We had this one book where it was like this black book where if we needed to take off, we would write it in that book. Okay? There's like this Made in America music festival that I've been going to since 2017. I didn't go this past year, and I'm not going this year because of COVID. I really want to go this year. I'm surprised that they're having it this year. I just found that out, and I was like, huh? I'm still waiting for them to push back Rolling Loud because I spent so much money, but I don't want to go because it's COVID. But I think it's at a point where, like, I don't even think you get your money back because it's been so long. So I feel like that window closed, so like, I'm gonna just have to go. But anyways, so I was going to Made in America for the first time. It was summer 2017, and they have their early bird tickets in like March. I missed the early bird tickets that year because that was the first time I ever heard about Made in America. In May is when they came out with like their GA. I bought the tickets. Like, I was like, I'm not playing, I'm going. I want to go. Everybody in my school is going, so all I hear about, like, I'm going. So I took off for work. Now, Made in America, it's Labor Day weekend. So that's in September, late August, early September, you know? So it was May, June, July. Oh, that's like 3 months in advance. I remember once I bought the tickets, the next day I was at work, I was like, I'm taking off. Remember, I took off the whole weekend. I was like, no, I need off the days of and the day after. I'm obviously go to school, but like, I don't want to go to work right after. Like, I'm gonna be tired. So that's what happened. I took off. And then we're getting closer to the day, and then I get my work schedule for that weekend. And I noticed that I'm working. Now I'm like, what am I working for? And I'm already 17 at this point, mind you. So I'm like, what am I working for? Like, I took off for this day, like, way in advance. I told them, like, I was like, hey, I took off for this day. We're like, oh, like, we didn't see your name in the book, whatever. It's first come, first serve. I was like, okay, well, I did it 3 months ago. I know it's first come, first serve. That's why I did it so well in advance. So they showed me the book, and somebody crossed my name off. Like, somebody, like, took my name off. I guess they were putting in their stuff late or like whatever, but they made it seem like I never did it. I was angry. Like, I was pissed. Because like, once she staples it, the girl who made the schedule, when she staples it, like, that was it. And like, you're not getting off now. They're arguing with me about it, and I was like, I've been took off, like, I'm not coming. Like, almost $400. Almost $400 because it's like a big thing. So I was like, I spent all this money on these tickets. Like, I don't bye, like, I'm not doing that. It wasn't only that. I remember it was like the day before, like, it was my last shift before the concert shift. We were at work, and it was just us youngins. Like, it was just us teenagers there running the whole chicken restaurant. It was insane. Like, all of the leads had left. Like, they weren't trying to come back. They were like, peace out, y'all got it, bye. Nobody that was there was over 18. We were all in high school. We were all like juniors and seniors. Like, we were children, okay, running this freaking chicken restaurant. We needed help, and they had called for help for one of the leads, like, hey, can you come in and help us? And nobody was trying to come in and help us. And I was freaking out. I was so angry. That was like the angriest I'd ever been. Oh, and you know what? I was doing that day? I was doing drive-through drinks. Yeah, that was such a bad shift. And then I remember just being so angry, and everybody was like trying to talk to me like, oh Gabby, like haha, and like I was just giving everybody the death stare. I was like, no. And then I went to the bathroom and I was so stressed out. I bawled my eyes out. And then I was like, you're crying over a chicken restaurant, bro. A chicken restaurant. No. A chicken house. No, you're not gonna cry over this stuff. So then I was like, this is my last time I'm gonna be here. This is my last time. And that's it. Like, done. And that was the last time I was there. So then I went to my concert, and I remember they called me at my concert, and I did not pick up. Y'all know where I'm at. I never showed up again. Like, I had another shift after that. Oh, so yeah, it was before then, because I had another shift after those 2 days that I missed, and I didn't go to it. And they were like, oh, they were telling my work best friend, they were like, oh, so I guess Gabriella's not coming, whatever. Like, I did not tell them, all right, I'm quitting. I did not formally put in 2 weeks. I didn't do anything. Like, that was it. I was done after that one part. I was like, no, forget this place. I'm not trying to work here no more. I was jobless for a little bit. I think like maybe like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. I didn't have a job, but I didn't care. Anything was better than Chick-Fil-A to me at that point. Like, I didn't want to work there, like I said. That's why I left that job. That was that. I was actually going to get a hotel job. I was going to work at a hotel, and I was going to be the front desk associate. So that's what I was going to do. But then he was like taking so long. Like, it was just such a long process. I'm like, boy, I need a job right now. Like, come on. My mom told me like, oh, you know, our neighbor is a manager at Home Goods if you want to go work there. And I was like, yeah. Saw her outside. I was like, you know, I'm going across the street. So I took my kind little self across the street. I was like, hey, so I'm looking for a job. I was told that you're a manager over at Home Goods. Do you think like, you know, I can get an interview? She was like, yeah, like, of course. So I was like, bet. And she was the one who actually did my interview too. So I was like, I got this job. Like, it was around before Halloween. It was like early October, I remember. And they had just finished hiring for seasonal employees. And I was actually hired for seasonal, but they told me they were going to keep me. So I was like, okay, cool. So they were like, so we don't really need cashiers now because we already, you know, got everybody. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put you on the sales floor, see how it is for you. So I was like, all right, cool. I started doing my thing. It was cool my first couple of days there. They really liked what I did. I made that place like spotless. Like I took so much pride in the way I organized the aisles. Really loved creating the way the aisles are gonna look. It was just so much fun for me. It would be annoying though when customers would mess it up after all my hard work. It was cool working there. The first time was cool when I worked there. And then they realized they liked me there, so they kept me. I stayed there for a while, and then I had met my best friend there, my best friend from here. I have 2 best friends. And I met her there, and if I didn't work at Home Goods, me and her would have never crossed paths. So I'm grateful for Home Goods for introducing me to my putita. And sometimes she was on the sales floor too, but she was mainly on cashier. But whenever we worked together, they used to call us sisters. Like, they used to confuse our names and all that stuff. It was always me and her. I would work 5 days a week from like 5 to like 10, and I would only make like $100. Like, it was trash. Like, it sucked. And I was just graduating high school. Like, I worked there like the rest of high school, from like junior to senior year to graduation to prom to like even like the first couple months of summer, up until like June, July, early July. I wasn't trying to mess with it no more. I was working out at the gym on the stairs, you know, doing my thing, and then I had seen this girl who I had met while working at Chick-Fil-A, and she was just like leaving, and she had passed by me, and she was like, oh, like, hey Gabby. I was like, oh shit, hey girl, what's up? And I remember I talked to her like one time at Chick-Fil-A, and like we just like we're cool. And like, it's just so happened to be her last day at Chick-Fil-A that day too. So I was like, damn. We were just catching up, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's been so long. How have you been? Whatever. And she told me where she was currently working, which was LA Fitness. And then she was like, oh, are you looking for a job? Like, we're actually hiring. And I was like, actually, I am. Like, I'm trying to leave my job now. I'm not really getting, you know, paid like that. I want more hours and all this stuff. And she told me like the hours there, it was kind of like the same, and they actually got paid less there, and they got paid less frequently there, honestly. But then she told me that you could get commission and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, so that's not that bad. And it was really chill, and that the boss was chill and all this stuff. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, I'll try it out. I put in an application, got an interview, went to the job, got the job, and I was working at LA Fitness. And I was working with the kids. Like I started off working in the back with the kids, and oh my goodness, guys, like I loved it. Like that was probably like one of my favorite jobs, like to this day. That was like the best job I ever had, because working with children every single day, like I love babies, I love children, I love children so much. Little babies would come in as young as 3 months up until like 11 or 12, I think it was. But in the morning time, it was always the babies and the little toddlers. There was nobody over 3 because they were always in school, you know. Like, I just want to cry thinking about them. They're all probably so big now. That was like the best job. Like I didn't care if I was getting paid less. Like it was amazing. I loved working, and it was always me, like in the mornings. She like did both. Like she did the back, but she was mainly front desk. I was mainly like in the back with like the kids and all that stuff. I had a great time playing with them and like laughing with them, and a lot of them liked cuddles. It would be like the same kids about like every day. So like they get used to you and they get to know you and get more comfortable with you. And then over time, she started bringing me up to the front. That's where I would get like commissions and all that stuff. Let's say somebody like their card declined and you needed to update the card. Like I would get like $5 for updating the card. Or anytime somebody paid in cash, like I would get a percentage of that. Like even people who signed up members, like they would get commission as well. So like it was pretty cool. Like that stuff, anytime somebody whatever, like it was just so cool. And I used to really be on it. Like let's say somebody's card had declined and like their membership was like on hold, and like they would try to come in and try to sneak by. I would send one of the guys after, like, yo, can you get him? Because like they would really pretend like they don't hear you, and I would send one of the guys because the guys would be on standby there, the salesmen, and they would be so mad, like the guests, like, sir, no, you're not coming to the gym for free. Run me my commission. Let's go. Like, I was not playing, and I didn't care. It was a cool job. My boss, she was so cool too. Like, I really, really liked her. She was one of my favorite bosses ever. She really showed appreciation to her workers. Like, that was the first and only job I ever had that showed so much Home Goods, a little bit, but she all the time, like she did not ever fail to say how much she appreciated us. She would buy a Starbucks almost every morning, Chick-Fil-A breakfast. She would let us eat. Like it was such a chill job working at the gym, and the free membership, girl. My body was right. Like I would work out all the time after work. Like it was a vibe. I had went like almost a year working there, guys. So like I said, I started in about July, and I went my whole winter there, and then I started school, cosmetology school, and my hours were cut. Like I could not do mornings. Like my school hours was from 9 to 4, and the afternoon shift at LA started at 4. So they would have to open like a little later in the back with the kids for me, because I would get it so late. After that, I was getting 1 day a week, and I was like, nah, like I can't do that. And I'm getting paid bi-weekly, and I'm only getting like $8. You would think I spoke to her about it, right? No. I'm anxious. I have anxiety. So I ignored it. I didn't. Like, I kick myself every single time, because I could have just told her, but I didn't. Like, I'm anxious. Like, I don't. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm so notorious for ghosting places of employment, but it doesn't come, like, it's not me being like, like, I just get so nervous, and I would just rather not deal with the confrontation and the conflict. So I didn't tell her about it. I really didn't. And that was my fault. I just stopped going, and I felt so bad, because I really appreciated her as a boss. Like I really loved her as a boss. Like she was such a great boss. Like honestly, I really loved working for her. A lot of the moms did like me. For some moms, I did jobs on the side. Like they were like, oh, like when you're off, like I'm gonna need a sitter. Or like sometimes even like I would go right after work to one of the parents' house who was there that morning. Like, oh, when you're off work, I told her, oh, like 12 or 1, I think it was 1. And then she'd be like, can you come at like 1:30 and like stay? I'm like, girl, I got you. They loved her now there. They'd be like, is Miss Gabby here? Like they used to call me Miss Gabby. And sometimes I would bring my little brother with me, like after school when I worked in that afternoon shift, and like he would have so much fun. Like it was always such a good time. Just one time I had a really crazy shift there. Even the mom stood with me. Like they really respected me like that they worked with me. Like they stood there and helped me watch the kids, because it was just me, and I had 3 children like under like that were 3 months old, and then I had a bunch of like it was, I needed somebody back there with me, and nobody was coming back to help me. So the mom stood with me and helped me. They were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, I can't believe nobody's helping you, like you're one of the best workers here, like I feel like they're taking advantage of you. Like I said, me and some of the moms, we exchanged numbers. I really loved being around children like that. Like it was really so heartwarming, and just knowing that I was a part of their lives every day for a while. And I'm sure, like, you know, some of them will remember me, like obviously not the babies, but like we always had such a good time there. The reason why I left is because I was in school and I wasn't getting hours like that, and I was just, it was my fault. Like I really should have just said something, but I didn't. Before I even left, I was like, all right, I'm gonna need a job that's gonna be able to work with my hours. It's gonna be decent paychecks. And the only job that I could have ever thought about was Home Goods. So I returned to Home Goods. And actually when I left, I just remember now, when I left the first time, I actually did formally put in 2 weeks, because I cared about that job and I respected them, and was there for a while, and I knew they were gonna vouch for me. But I remember like I didn't show up for like my last 3 shifts of my 2 weeks. So she was like, oh, you know, you're still eligible for rehire, you know, all that stuff. And like I had reached back out to her. I was like, hey, you know, it's Gabby, can I come back to work, basically? And she was like, yeah, come in tomorrow. So I was like, period, I'm about that, say no more. And she was so happy to have me back. She was like, Gab, we were really struggling, like we needed people, I'm so happy you're back. So I was like, cool, you know, I don't want to work here, I really don't want to come back, but I need a job, like I needed one. So that's why I went back to Home Goods for the second time. And I stood up until November-ish. I stood at Home Goods again for the second time. I stood for like 4 or 5 months. And oh my goodness, the reason why I left the second time, it became so much more cattier. Like it was so like a million times worse than what it was the first time. And I was like, oh no, I'm not about this. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ignore all this stuff. Like I'm just here to work, like I don't care. That's not what happened. And then a problem occurred, and that's a whole separate story time in itself, which I'll probably tell like way down the years. But I just know if I'm to talk about that story now, drama is gonna come into my life, and I don't want drama, and I don't need that. So I'm not gonna talk about that story. But something happened where I was like, I absolutely cannot work here anymore. That was it. I was like, I'm done. And I already had found a new job. This person that I was cool with had like put me on, she was working at this restaurant. Like it was good money and all that stuff, and management was cool, and I was gonna love it. And she had been there for a while, so I already knew I was gonna get the job. Every job that I had, honestly, I always had a foot in the door. So she finally talked me into, you know, working there. It was at a restaurant. I had a bad experience from Chick-Fil-A, so I wasn't trying to work at a restaurant, but she told me it was cool, so I was like, you know what, whatever. I started working there, and it was cool. It was very intense at this restaurant. Like the training, I don't know how other restaurants are, but you got to go through like a week of like training, and then you got to take like a test, which is where you like you serve your management. And there was like this one guy, like the head of like the cooks in the kitchen, and apparently like, he was the hardest one. So they were like, oh my gosh, if you get him, like I'm praying for you. And I got him. Of course I got him, you know, of course I got him. Like, look at my luck. Actually went good. Like, the test, like, it was really easy. Like, I'm just a talkable person. Like, I'm a people person. So, I wasn't scared. Like, I was just like, this is a piece of cake. Whatever it is, I'm gonna talk my way through this. I'm gonna talk my way out of it. Whatever goes wrong, I'm gonna, like, it's gonna be fine. So then I was officially a waitress. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys what I did there. I was a waitress, and I was there for a while. I was there up until COVID. The COVID is the reason why I'm not there no more. It wasn't even a year, honestly. I wasn't there for long because, like I said, COVID shut us down for a bit. And I made like a best friend at my job, and me and him were so cool. Like, we were so cool. Like, we would be doing the cha-cha slide in the back. Like, it was so much fun working there. Like, it was a good time. I had my favorite manager. Like, it was cool. There was this one girl there who worked there. I did not like that girl. I really didn't like that girl, and I'm sure she knew that I didn't like her, because like I remember she had even like told me about it, like, oh, like you know what it is, because I used to talk about her with the girl who got the job, and then I don't know, I started talking my ish about this girl at my job to the girl who got me the job, and nobody else. Like, she was the only one who I told to. And then all of a sudden, the girl who I was talking crap about started like apologizing, like, oh, I'm sorry if you think like I don't like you. And I'm like, you over here telling this girl the shit I'm talking to you? Like, that should have been my first red flag. That really should have been my first red flag about this girl, bro. It really should have, but it wasn't. That's a whole another story time in itself, way down the years, way down the line. But anyways, that job was cool. They kind of sucked though with scheduling. Like, whenever I would take off of work, I would usually never get it, and I would be so annoyed by it, because what the hell, like, I'm trying to take off. Then like I would tell them about it, and they would be like, okay, like, it's fine. But I would get so nervous because I really didn't know them like that, and I was like, I really liked working there. I learned a lot working there, honestly. Towards the end, my boss, he would tell me, like, bro, like, I see so much potential in you. Like, you just gotta push yourself even more. Like, I know, like, your tips are gonna go up by so much. Like, apply yourself a little bit more. So I was like, cool. So I did, and my tips went from like 15-20% to like 25, 30, 40. Somebody even tipped me 50%. And I was like, oh, I'm balling. Like, this is it for me. And then COVID happened. And I stopped balling. But yeah, no, we got shut down, and it sucked. Like, it really did. Like, I was so sad. Like, it didn't get shut down. Like, it closed down for COVID. And then my stepdad is very high risk. They were opening up again. I was like, nah, I'm not trying to be near people. All these people, I have them on Snapchat. They be at parties. They don't social distance. Like, I'm not trying to be back in the kitchen, in the small, hot kitchen with these people who don't follow COVID guidelines. I was going to be a delivery driver, but then that didn't work out neither. So I just don't want to be a waitress anymore, especially during COVID. Like, I don't know how it is and all that stuff. Like, I heard it's really slow, actually, because I had actually seen yesterday one of the girls I worked with at the restaurant, and she was like, yeah, no, we're really slow now. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. But I think she said April 4th that they're gonna open up capacity now, doing outdoors, something like that. I forget what it was that she said, but that's when they're gonna do all that stuff. So hopefully that they'll get busy again. But my favorite boss isn't there no more, which is annoying. And the last time I saw him, we had such, like, the last time I came in, like, to sign up for, like, the drivers or whatever, to be a delivery driver, we had such a deep conversation. Like, it was such an eye-opening conversation. I was like, thank you so much for this conversation. Like, it really put me in such, like, a positive mental state. And guys, he's a Pisces, like my boyfriend, and Pisces are such deep people, bro. Like, I feel like everybody just needs a Pisces, bro. Hold on, speaking of Pisces, my boyfriend's calling me. So yeah, like I said, he's not there no more, because he went on a whole self-love, self-discovery journey, and he really inspired me at, like, a lot. It was such an inspirational, like, we talked for like an hour. Him and another one, like, I really liked them. They were cool employers to work for. The only real problem I had was that one girl that I really did not like. Just that one girl I didn't like, and she was always there. She was always there, bro. It was so annoying. And me and her had got, like, our little, like, tips at the job, and I remember I used to tell myself, like, it could get real crazy up in this kitchen real quick, girl. Like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. And, like, I remember she tried to, like, get on me, and, like, my favorite manager, like, shut her shit down. And I was like, period. Let her know. Then COVID happened and all that stuff, so whatever. I was out of a job for a while. I was on unemployment. When I was in school in, like, November-ish, we had a job fair, whatever. So salons came in and presented themselves and was like, oh yeah, work for me, whatever. For when you graduate, right? So you can have a job. So there was this one station, and it wasn't, like, hyped up and, like, designed and pretty and eye-catching like all of the other ones. So, like, they were kind of just there by themselves. And then she kind of, like, called me and my friend over. I was talking to her, and she was telling me about her salon, all this good stuff. When she realized, like, the girl that I was with wasn't from, like, this area, she, like, completely stopped looking at her and just kept looking at me. And that should have been my red flag. That should have been my first red flag again. But it wasn't. Like, Now I don't play, bro. I've been done wrong by too many people in my life. Anyways, she was like, oh, you know, come in, whatever. So she told me when to come in. and all that stuff. I got an interview and I got the job, and I was waiting for me to finish school, right? So I've been had the job, and then COVID happened. So then my graduation date was pushed back. The salon had closed for a bit. They reopened. Then something happened in my family, and then I finally started working there. I'm gonna say like mid to late August is when I first started, like, actually had my first day of work. So I was excited. It was my first salon job. Like, I'm doing my career. Like, I'm gonna learn more. I'm gonna grow here. Like, I was so excited. And then there was this girl who had worked there too, and then she was around my age. She was a little younger than me actually, but you know, same like general age. She instantly started telling me that this job is trash and that the boss sucks and everything was bad. And I should have took her advice and peaced out when I did, but I didn't. I stood. And then, like, yeah, no, like, that job was, like, it was bad. Like, she was telling me how bad it was and how shady it was and all this stuff. And this is the job that needs its own separate story time. So I'm not gonna go in detail about all the shady stuff that went on. Like, I need to do my own separate story time about this nut-ass salon job, bro. It was trash. So it didn't take long for me to see the shadiness of the job, because the girl who I worked with, she had left, and it was just me. Like, it was literally just me working there. And then that's when I started realizing how, like, damn, this job sucks. Like, this job sucks. The boss sucks. That was the shortest time I was there for like a month, guys. A month. 1 month before I was like, nah, I'm done with this. I'm done with this job. Bye. Peace out. Sayonara. Like I said, that whole job deserves its own story time, so I briefly went over that. Like, I was there for a month. It was trash. It sucked, and all the finer details will come out later, because I am still currently dealing with the excess backlash. I'm still dealing with the residue, the leftoverness, whatever's left of that job. I'm still currently going through something with that job. So once that's all taken care of and I'm completely done, so cut ties, whatever, then I'll talk my ish and I'll tell y'all what really went down and what this whole thing is and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that one. I really love this look, guys. Oh my goodness. Really simple, but I feel like that was called for because my hair is so loud. You know what I mean? I just think this is beautiful. I'm gonna actually finish up on camera because I just have one more thing to talk about before I close out. After the salon job, I was there for like a month. It was bad. And I finished working there before it was Labor Day. That's when I stopped working there. So like, it might even be less than a month, guys. I wasn't there for long. After that, I was jobless for a hot minute. My boyfriend was working at an airport, so I was like, damn, you know, I need a job. He was like, come work at the airport. So I was like, bet, I'm gonna go work at the airport with you. I put in an application, got an interview, I got the job. So I went through this whole process. I got the job, I want to say, in around like November. It was before Thanksgiving, definitely. And then it was like a long process before I actually got in, guys. I had to go through so much training. I had to actually like go to a week's worth of training, like an hour away. I even stayed in a hotel over there. Like, that was like one of the coolest things when they provided a hotel and paid for everything. Like, I was like, oh, I'm in a big girl job. Like, I liked that. It was like the week of Christmas when I finally started working there, and it was cool. Like, the people I worked with, my time while I was at my training, something had happened, like, communication wise, where I was kind of like, you know, this kind of unprofessional on like my employer's end. And that's when I should have realized, like, yeah, communication is going to be trash at this job, which it was. Like, it was so bad. Communication and like schedule, like what they would do, they would like, so we worked at an airport. So flights will get canceled, flights will get added. I understood that, 100% understood that. But what I didn't understand is when you change my schedule and you don't let me know. That's what I don't understand. That's what I would get so angry about, and everybody else as well. If you're gonna change it, let me know, because I'm not gonna go look. Like, I take a picture of it and that's it. Like, I'm not gonna be on looking at the paper every single day to see if you've reprinted it out. Like, I don't have time for that. Well, I just wanted the mutual respect for my time. As I respected their time, I wanted my time to be respected. I was trying to take off of work for Valentine's Day, and basically that's when I got hit with like, oh, you're on a probational period. And I'm like, probational period? Probational period? Who? Nobody told me that. Like, guys, I promise you, nobody told me. And that really upset me because the way it was spoken to me, it was like I was being spoken to as if I was a fool. I didn't like it. And then I told my employer, I was like, nobody told me I'm on probation. Like, nobody said that. And she was like, what? Nobody told you? Like, so shocked. And I was like, you would have been the one to tell me. It would have been you, and you didn't tell me. So yeah, no, nobody told me. And it was like they wanted it to be run so professionally, but they were not professional themselves in some ways. What else was something happened? Oh, I would get written up for nothing. I got 2 write-ups at that job before I left. Like, I was there for maybe 3 months. So I had gotten written up because, guys, I would be like 5 minutes late. Shifts would start at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, it would be so early, and I'm getting used to the schedule. Within my first 3 weeks, I got a write-up for being a couple minutes late. One time, like, my alarm just completely didn't go off and all this stuff. So it was like normal stuff, but I was still there. Maybe the latest I probably ever was like 30 minutes late, and that was the day my alarm didn't go off. So like she just like, a lot of favoritism went on in that job. Like, I know a lot of other people did the same thing and they didn't get written up for it. The lady who hired me, she wasn't GM, like she was just a regular like supervisor, and then she got promoted to GM. And like that day she got promoted to GM, me and my boyfriend came in a little late because I had to pick him up. Like, it was just a hectic morning. I was probably like 10 minutes late, but I wasn't late for the ticket counter. And that was like probably one of the most important things. Like, I was still on time for the ticket counter. I was just late to clock in, but the ticket counter was still closed, which is what I did. I was a customer service agent. She like started freaking out. Like, it was her first day as GM that day. Like, she had just gotten promoted, first day on the new job, new position. And she started screaming at us, guys. Screaming at us like, do you know what time you're supposed to be in work? And guys, like, I was new. I was brand new. Like, I tell my boyfriend, like, every single time, if I didn't walk in with you, like, that would have gotten so bad. Because I get so defensive. Like, I'm so big on watch how you speak to somebody and speak respectfully and don't embarrass me. Like, that was so embarrassing. I probably would have quit that day. Honestly, like, if he had not been there, I would have came so crazy and just left and never came back. Like, that's really how that would have been. He started arguing with her. And like, that's how it was. And then she was like, favoritisms, like I said. He didn't get written up. I got written up. I got written up. And he didn't. And I'm like, that don't make sense. And he, guys, it was so many times, like, he was always so late to that job. Times he wouldn't even show up to a shift. And he never got like written up. I feel like with their rampers and stuff, like, they got away with whatever. Like, just communication. Like, they would say, oh, go through this person to speak, or go through that person to speak, and like, it would be like chickens without a head on. Like, that's really what it felt like at times. After I got written up, I definitely felt the animosity, or like if I would miss a shift or whatever. Like, I really felt like everybody was like mad at me. But I'm like, guys, like, this is like basic human stuff, you know? Like, I remember with the snow, like, I can't drive in the snow. I can't do it. It's very traumatic for me. Like, I will freak out, and I'm not having an anxiety attack every single time. There was a bunch of little stories about that job. Maybe that job and the salon deserves its own little thing, because guys, it was a lot of BS. Like, it really was so much BS going on. Whenever I say like, oh yeah, I worked at the airport, they're like, oh my god, the airport, like, that's so cool, like, you must travel places. And I'm like, no, because there was only 7 of us, and who's taking our shift? Like, it was only 7 of us who worked all the time. And actually, when I quit, five of us left at the same time, leaving 2 people left for customer service. Like, that sucks. I don't know what they're doing now, how they're coping and managing with that, but good luck to them. It wasn't just me. Like, that job wasn't me. Like, we all hated that job. Me and the people I worked with, we always talked about how trash that job was, because it was so trash. Like, the way it was like, they said it used to be really cool and really chill, and then like it just changed. I didn't like the way she spoke to me that first time, and it really just set the tone with like, you really feel like you could talk to people crazy, and I just wasn't about it. But she was a cool person aside from that. But that was like the most recent job I was at that I recently just, you know, left. My last day there was like probably like 2 weeks ago. I learned a lot working there. Like, if it wasn't that predicament, and we were only getting paid like $12, like, it really wasn't a lot at all. Like, for what we did, guys, we did a lot. Like, I learned a lot about what really goes down at the airport. I should definitely do a story time about something like that. So for what we did to get $12, it just did not seem reasonable, and just the toll it took on my body, And it was taking up so much of my time. Like I said previously in a couple videos ago, I hinted it was just taking up so much time. Like I had no time to do what I wanted to do because of my hours there, you know? It was just time to move on. Things happen, life goes on, whatever, no hard feelings, you know? Alright, so I just finished off my lips. I just wanted to like finish up like with the whole airport thing. So yeah, like I said, it was a lot of favoritism, and it was a lot of like, it really wasn't black and white at all, and that's like something that we really like had discussed before. But I did appreciate how they would try to make the efforts to try to fix it. It just, the thought and everything was there, but the resources and material wasn't. Like, it was a lot of chaos. Maybe if they were paying a little more, then we did go through a pay raise as well, but I feel like if it was more than what it is and like we had more people and all that, it would have been a smooth running job like how they said it was before. But it just didn't work out for me. I also did formally put in my 2 weeks at the airport. It was just such like an intense type of job. Like I had to return my badges and return stuff as well, so I was just like, you know, this is a good job too, to like, even for however long I was there. Like I wasn't a customer service agent, like, you know, like if I ever need, like, this will look good on a resume. I formally put in my 2 weeks, stood my whole 2 weeks. That was the only job I stood my whole 2 weeks. At the salon, I left abruptly. I didn't say nothing. Peace out. That was it. At Home Goods, the second time I left, I formally put in 2 weeks, but the, like, my boss's boss was like, she really was a she gave me trash. Like, she really gave me a hard time for quitting, which I will put in, you know, my next story time about it years later. She gave me a hard time, like, when I did it, and she really, like, the way she spoke to me, I didn't appreciate it, and she didn't schedule me for my last week there, so that got cut short, and that was about it. So now I'm here. I'm here. And that is all the jobs that I have had since I was 14. I'm going to be 21 in May. So over the span of 6 years, I don't know how many jobs it was that I had. My brain is gonna hurt if I really try to think about it, but it was a lot. Like, I really do feel like it's a lot. Like, I really feel like I'm always like either at a new job or getting a new interview or something it was, you know? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been meaning to film this video for a while, so I'm really happy I, you know, sat down and really got to it. This look is beautiful. Like, I really love how it came out. I love how my hair came out. I love all this stuff. If you guys would like to see a tutorial on how I did this hair and my edges and all that stuff, like, I was thinking about it as I was filming. Like, I feel like that would be so cool. Everything that I use will definitely be down below. You guys know I got you at all times. But I really love how, like, everything came out, and I'm about to go outside and take cute pics. It's a nice day. It's a Saturday. It's hot out, guys. This weekend has been beautiful. Like, I just need it to be summer already. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys like videos like this, like story times and all those little stuff, definitely let me know down below. I had so much fun filming today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every single time that I post. And with all that being said, I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you're staying safe and healthy and keeping good vibes only, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Let me not get sidetracked in this video. Wait, why did I put another layer on? Bye. I'm doing mascara. I'm doing falsies today. What am I doing, guys? What am I doing? I had so much fun filming it. If you got, I'm not doing a makeup tutorial, guys. Stop.